can your mother stitch?
I used to watch the WWE World Wrestling Entertainment for a long time until recently, not too recently. One of my favorite wrestlers was Wade Barrett. At a time, he used to come out with a gavel like he was a judge and say,
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
well, Donald Trump, I'm afraid I got some bad news on 3 points. Yesterday, meaning January the 19th, the United States Supreme Court has ruled 8-1. That's the documents from January, the presidential documents, the Trump White House documents on January 6th are going to be made available to the Congressional Select Committee investigating the January 6th attacks. Which quite frankly means that from a legal standpoint, you're screwed. Plain and simple, you're screwed. Trump, we're about to learn what you did, what you didn't do, what was said, and what wasn't said on January 6th during the insurrection that you, your family, members of Congress, members of the United States Senate, members of the right-wing media, Fox News, I'm talking to you. ONN, I'm talking to you. Newsmax, I'm talking to you. We're going to know everything that happened on January 6th at the White House. Who you talked to, what you talked about, and what you didn't do on January 6th. You're screwed, plain and simple. Now, I'm not going to get into the vote of 8-1 on the Supreme Court, because we all know who that one vote is by now. Clarence Thomas. And we know why that vote is the way it was. Because his wife, Jeannie Thomas, was the one who supported the attack on the Capitol. But I'm not going to get into that. But I'm just going to move on. Because here's part two of
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Donald Trump's daughter, Ivanka Trump, was asked to voluntarily cooperate with the House Select Committee investigating January 6th. My advice to you, Ivanka, tell the truth. Tell the whole truth. Because quite frankly, you could be sitting in the jail cell when this whole thing could be over. Because quite honestly, if it's between me and my father, and if my father is anything like Donald Trump, I'm going to talk. I'm not going to go to prison for this guy. So, do yourself a favor, Ivanka, and talk. It's your only chance to save yourself 50 years in a prison cell. And honestly, Donald, you better pray that something happens to her before she does talk. I know the weak ones when I see them. And your daughter is weak. Your two sons are weak. And sooner or later, all of them are going to talk to save their own ass. Just like you would if they were in your position. And part 3.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
A Georgia district attorney is convening a criminal grand jury into 2020 election interference. Now, Donald Trump is implicated, and Senator Lindsey Graham is implicated as well. And this goes to both of them making phone calls to the Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, in order to try to flip the state's electoral votes to Donald Trump instead of Joe Biden. That is the very definition of election interference, and that is a felony. So Lindsey Graham, I hate your guts. You're a scumbag. We know you're a scumbag. But my advice to you right now is to talk. Because Donald Trump is not going to be loyal to you. His name is on that indictment as well. he might get indicted as well. And if you think for one flipping second that this guy isn't going to talk, that this guy isn't going to give you up, think again. Because quite honestly, as I said before, when it comes to Ivanka, when it's his ass on the line, he will sell you out. So talk, Lindsey Graham. Stop this loyalty, bow down to Trump bullshit and talk. And Trump, the more.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
More bad news may be coming soon. And I'm going to be laughing my ass off when it does. You're getting exactly what you deserve for ripping this country apart. And there are people out there who are still going to vote for you. And and for the life of me, I can't understand why. If this were any other president, if this were Clinton or Bush, if it were Reagan, if it were the first Bush, God forbid, if it were Obama, you guys would be screaming your heads off that have them around a noose. But you've given Donald Trump every single pass in the book. The pass is revoked. Donald Trump is going down. Now you can get on board with this, or you can spectate. The same way Donald Trump spectated when he pushed thousands of people to invade the Capitol in the vain hope of overturning the election. Oh, I almost forgot to talk about this. Apparently, the Oath Keepers, there's evidence and communications saying that the Oath Keepers were storing ammunition in and around Washington, D.C. and Arlington, Virginia. They were getting ready for a war on the behest of Donald Trump. So, I've said before, Donald Trump is going down for all of this. Now, you got two choices in your mind, Trump. Confess, and maybe, just maybe, you'll survive long enough to go into that nice-looking golf course of yours while you're old and gray at 106 years old after your sentence is up. Or you can fight this thing and die in prison. Because that's coming, Trump. It's coming. You're going to jail. Sooner or later, it's going to happen. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.